narrative, and then from then on, you're going to be dealing with disinformation on just a vast scale of impossible to decipher. You're not going to, like I watched a video today of Joe Biden talking about some girl's ass. It wasn't real.
Yeah.
But it's like, here, I'll send it to Jamie so we can play it. Because it's so crazy, like what they can do now. It's just, how long before it's absolutely impossible to detect? How long before you have no idea what's real and what's not real? It's not that long from now. And they'll be able to, the people that own these enormous tech companies will be in cahoots with government like they are now, that, you know, they censor narratives, they demonetize people that talk about COVID in the wrong way or even at all. They're going to do that same kind of thing, and they're going to do that same kind of thing with whatever they want to highlight, like any narrative they want to highlight. And you like, as a consumer, as a person on the outside that's just watching things, it's going to be so confusing. And there's going to be narratives that, like, if you're an inclusive person that believes in equity and fairness for all, you'll believe this narrative. And then if you're a person who believes in liberty and the First Amendment and the Second Amendment and to protect our borders, you're going to believe that narrative. And then they're going to feed it with fake news and fake video and fake voices. Here, I'll play this, Jamie. Here you go. When you see these things, and they're crude now, like, you know it's fake because you know the actual recordings of Joe Biden talking, but how long before it's a video that's completely indiscernible? You're not going to be able to know if it's fake or real. You can have him doing things that he's never done before.
Fucking booty I've ever seen. God damn, that shit was huge. I could barely believe my eyes, man. I had to cool myself off with a chocolate chip ice cream cone from Ben & Jerry's. Shit was actually fire. No pun intended. My buddy Kevin from the Secret Service then brought me to the White House to sign some more shit. It was probably more money for Zelensky in Ukraine, but I didn't really give a fuck. Remember to keep it real and vote for me in 2024. Swipe it.
Yeah.
How wild is that?
Yeah, as has been commented, I wish he was this competent. The most alarming thing is that that's a really cohesive sentence from Joe Biden. He's got a bit sexist, but his faculties are in order.
It's bizarre how far he's deteriorated. And when I was talking about it during the election, and people were like, I was actually talking about it with Eric Weinstein, and he was like, I can't vote for Biden. And he goes, I can't vote for Trump. And I go, I would vote for Trump before I'd vote for Biden. Just because I think with Biden, like, he's gone. Like, he's gone. You're going to be relying on his cabinet. And I knew his cabinet would be this fucking sideshow of diversity, and which is exactly what it is. I mean, that one person who stole all the women's clothes, that Sam Brinton, we highlighted on the podcast yesterday, like, that's a diversity hire. You just said, oh, look at this. A man who dresses like a woman and has a beard and a mustache, but also wears lipstick. This is perfect for us. I don't give a fuck what this guy's good at or bad at. I don't give a fuck what their credentials are. This makes us look like we're inclusive. This makes us look like we're on the right side. So let's hire this person. And you can't have those kind of people running a Ben & Jerry's. You certainly can't have those kind of people running the fucking most powerful government the world's ever known. It's nuts. It's nonsense.
What they've been able to do is introduce contentious issues to the forefront of the culture that prevent the kind of alliances that are necessary taking place. The reason that when I'm over here, I'm having conversations, in addition to the great privilege of coming on your show with, like, going on Bill Maher or going on to Tucker or Ben Shapiro, is because I feel like there's got to be a new conversation around politics. We can't just stay in these little camps. Now, like, I feel sometimes that Joe Biden is the perfect president for the time because he's like the perfect metaphor of what it is. This system is over. And for all of the talk of diversity, what have you got? You've got a career politician, white male, that's falling apart before your very eyes. It's telling you that it's bullshit.
Yes.
And that they'll put people in positions in order to carry that narrative, but for no other reason, because I don't truly believe that they deeply care about those ideas. And even if they do deeply care, the decisions they're making are decisions that are in alignment with the agenda of Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, with centralized banking authority. It's not going to change the world for any of them. They've managed to make ordinary American people hate one another, like on the basis of a 50-50 split. You can't criminalize half of a country and say that they're far-right fascists any more than you can say that, in my view, extreme leftists. These kind of issues oughtn't be what's determining how a country is run. And when they are the issues that determine how a country is run, the powerful run amok. The elites are able to pursue their agenda just fine.
Yeah, because they've got us in these ideological camps, and they've got people infighting and ignoring real problems.
Yes.
And it's such a transparent hustle. It's so obvious to see how it's being set up and how easy it is to get people to fall in line with it. That's one of the most disturbing things that happened during COVID, is how easy people rolled over. I was like, this is wild. I expected more pushback. I expected more people to ask about the data, and particularly when they started saying they were going to vaccinate children. I expected more people to go, hey, what's the fucking data on kids? Or when they were telling people to vaccinate pregnant women. I was like, what data do you have on pregnant women? Because pregnant women, if you like normal medication, when a pregnant woman is taking normal medication, they have to be very careful, because stuff that you can take when you're not pregnant with very little concern all of a sudden becomes a real issue if you have a developing fetus in your body. It's a giant issue. You're a father, you know what it's like when your wife goes through that. It's kind of crazy, because there's real concern. Like, you can't take this, you can't drink, you can't smoke, you can't this, you can't that. You shouldn't take stem cells, you shouldn't take nootropics. There's so many different things. But yet this vaccine with zero testing on any pregnant people was fine.
Wasn't it worrying that when you're
encouraged,
when you're layman's speculation, like the speculation of people that have not been at university, and they're like, hey, but hold on, you're not going to get pregnant women volunteering for clinical trials, so there's no way you could have tested this on. Hey, hold on, you can't know what's going to happen 5 years down the line because you've not had a 5-year time frame unless you were preparing this thing 5 years ago. In which case, how come you were preparing this thing 5 years ago? The kind of speculations that were being had conversationally in spaces like this one have proven to be true. You can't validate it. Children aren't doing clinical trials. Turns out they didn't do clinical trials for transmission or have any viable data that it stopped transmission. It was like that's one of the things that alarmed me most is how easy people rolled over to an authoritarian edict in countries like mine and yours, where it was assumed that wouldn't happen. I remember the narrative being, when the stuff was going on in China, good luck trying that stuff in the United States.
Right. But
and then they pulled it off.
Pulled it off.
If you amplify fear, I feel like it might be